Okay, yep. Hola, hola, hola. Today is a good day to make it a great day. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria, Lynn, the one and only, and my special guest, Cordell Rowe, on Power 108.9. Today we are going to be talking about self-identity and how you see yourself versus how other people see you. And you don't want to miss this show. So, we would like to welcome y'all for tuning in. Hey everybody. So first I want to tell y'all see my nails? My daughter, my 12-year-old daughter messed up a good set and she did my nails. So I'm she a little entrepreneur on the way. But okay, so today we want to talk about self-identity and how you see yourself versus how other people see you. Yeah, I'm not like 100 today, so if I ain't my old bubbly me, just know I should have thrown on a hat and a jacket and called it a day.
I know, right? They say some days are better than others, but we are here to join you, so it's all good.
But all days are great days. Okay, so one, I want to describe what self-identity is. So y'all know me, I always like to pull out the dictionary. So Webster tells us that self-identity is defined as the recognition of one's potential and qualities as an individual, especially in relation to social contexts. It also refers to a global understanding a person has for themselves. Self-identity is composed of relatively permanent self-assessments such as personality attributes, knowledge of one's skills and abilities, one's occupations, hobbies, and awareness or one's physical attributes. So I want y'all to tune in today. And so today, Mike, it's going to be a little bit different because I really want to hear the viewers and the listeners view about self-identity and how we see ourselves versus how other people see us. So I'm going to tell y'all a story and you just jump in whenever.
Okay, go ahead.
You jump in. So I feel like that oftentimes, people judge us, they offend us, their thoughts and their words. They lead us to believe that we are a certain way that we're actually not. And so sometimes we tend to adopt the, I want to say the predispositions of others, the thoughts and the words, and just a whole lot of stuff. But I also want to add, and I made a whole list, y'all, whole list, because I think a lot of the things that I'm going to mention has to do with self-identity. So whether it's life experiences, sicknesses, a bad report or bad reports, right and wrong relationships, divorce, friends, family, fear, loss of a loved one, situations, circumstances, abuse, neglect, rejection, foster care, sexual abuse, abandonment, lack of self-esteem, lack of knowledge, failure, whether it be personal or professional, lack of support, and I can go on and on. And this was a good topic because at first I wanted to talk about the power of you because I run across a lot of people, mentor a lot of people, and a lot of things that I see how people don't understand the power within themselves and how they see themselves one way. And sometimes that way is because the way other people perceive them or made them to believe that they are. Right. I'm going to share with my story, but go ahead.
No, I agree. I always have a saying to myself, and that is sometimes we overestimate the level of importance that we have in other people's lives. And sometimes people overestimate the level of importance that they have in our lives, and probably I would also say underestimate that level of importance. And it's always interesting for me, I've been a mentor of many people all my life by choice and sometimes by force, whether I knew it or whether I didn't know it. And sometimes when people come to you and they're saying to you, hey, I wasn't going to do this or that, and then I thought of you, Cordell. And part of me is like, you probably did more than what I would do, or you're better than me at that, But what I thought about was my impact that I made on this person and how I viewed myself. And sometimes you may put yourself at one level in society or given a particular area, and then somebody else is putting you higher up on that pedestal.
Or lower sometimes.
Or lower. And, but I think that that's crucial because oftentimes we have to sit back sometime and reflect in the mirror. One is, depending on where we're trying to go in life, how is that being perceived? Because if we have goals, we may, think about the reputation of the things that we put out, especially in the time and day of social media. Versus, if you don't have goals, maybe, people are putting out on social media certain images because they don't necessarily have an image to keep, a name to lose, as, they used to say back in the day. Now, bring it back to what you're trying, whatever your personal accomplishments, and me being, let's just say, an attorney now. If I wanted to run for public office, I have to be self-aware of my identity and how I perceive myself. Doesn't mean that that's not necessarily reality, but sometimes you may not want to go there when you want to go there with with certain things, certain actions, what's being caught on camera, what are you putting out, how you react to certain situations. So I think self-identity sometimes brings its head up in a lot of areas. It is, like you talked about, how you see yourself, and then also how others see you. So
my question is, and I'm going to share with you all some stuff, but I think that a lot of times people really don't identify who they are until later in life. Like I'm seeing now that most people are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s until they truly understand who they are and what their purpose has been. So family may have made them believe that they're one way. Friends may have made them believe that they're another way. Co-workers made them believe another way. And it's not until they start digging deep and start self-reflecting until they really understand who they are and who they were supposed to be.
Well, what happens is, and this is just my humble opinion, there's no scientific data, but you probably, most people probably spend the first 25 years of their lives being instructed a certain way, being framed and molded by society. Like you talk about your job, your parents, the people around you, your society, and your family. And then after that that first 25 years, all of a sudden that second 25 years is you coming into your own identity, probably knocking off some of the thought processes that may have been wrong or right one way or the other, and saying, that's crap. I don't believe that. Even some of the stuff in school, you spend 12 years being educated by a system and realize that system lied to you.
Right.
And so you're trying to pick up a new identity, a new self-awareness. And sometimes that takes years because your entire life has been essentially pre-programmed one way or the other. And that goes into people speaking positive things in your life, or people speaking negative things in your life, or telling you you should be this person. And some, maybe after the age of 25, it's like, I don't like any of this. And so you may come into, a new you, as they say. And that may be career, that may be religion, that may be personality or character. Even sometimes people, let's say dating, they go through this life, I never marry anybody, I'm going to be single till I die, and then they meet the right person. All of a sudden, you turn around, they're a family person, and especially as men, you go from the Dodge Charger into a minivan. So, it happens,
And I say for me, I think I went years. I would even say beyond years, decades of really just not. I don't think people. I think people they as I've said it before on Facebook, they see the glory, but they don't really know my story. And if they do know it, they know bits and pieces. But for years and decades that I found myself unworthy, not in a sense like it was hard for me to identify who I really was because of everything that I have been through, from the sexual abuse, from the kidnapping, from the rape, from the domestic violence, for people telling me that I would never amount to anything, for people telling me I got too many kids and you're not supposed to do this and you're not supposed to do that. So all those things weighed heavily on me. And so I early on, I found myself really confused. Like, am I supposed to do this? Am I supposed to do that? Oh, no, I'm this girl. No, I'm the ratchet girl. No, I'm the girl that loves Jesus. No, I'm the girl that I don't know what girl I am. Excuse me. So that's where I found myself. So it wasn't until I want to say, when I was in Atlanta, I think I met you, like 15 years ago? It was something like that.
It's been that long.
But I was here. Come on, Mike, weigh in on the conversation. Get off the phone. I'm going to tell him like you tell me. But I was in Atlanta, and I was going to New Birth, and I was in acting, and I was doing acting heavily. And I was like, I thought that was the way to go. And I was so good at acting. And then I remember going to a youth ministry meeting, and I think Elder Velez was the youth pastor at the time. And they had a guest speaker, and the guest speaker was like, "It's a shame to get to the top of your ladder to realize that it's placed up against the wrong building." Mm-hmm. And so to me, that meant I was going down the wrong path. And it was more from a secular approach versus a Christian approach. And I think when I realized that, life changed for me, because I became more clear on my purpose, because that hit home for me, because, I was always questioning what I was doing. And it wasn't like I didn't like what I was doing. I actually love it because I do some of it now. I just got tired of all the makeup and doing this and doing that. So it took me years. It took me decades. I would say, and I think it takes a lot of people, and I think I don't know, but y'all, we are.
So I got a test for you.
What's
you want
the
me
test?
To chime in?
Yeah, I want Mike to chime in.
All three of y'all, take out a pen, and even our listeners out there, take out a pen, and I want you to think about your favorite color. Your favorite color, and think about three reasons why that's your favorite color. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about that, because it's a great test. And I'll tell you what it means when we come back. You're listening to Let's Talk. Power 108.9. Christeria, Lynn. Counselor's in the building. My favorite niece is in the building, too. No, you take it out. Go, girl.
Oh, you already did it for me, shawty. Y'all are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria, Lynn on Power 108.9. What up, shawty? Where you been at? Yeah, where you been at?
I can't see you on Facebook. You got any comments?
We need the old wise man. I'm sorry, young wise. I ain't seen him for like 3 weeks, Mike? 3-4 weeks? You been on vacation?
He been running from me. No,
he ain't been running
Eddie
from me.
Every weekend.
Every weekend?
Yeah. And Thursday. Eddie got a busy schedule.
Can I do the live read, or should I wait? When I come back, no?
Yeah, okay. From the 9th, I think. All right, you ready?
You know it. Did you get it? That IG? Oh, look at hot man. I don't know why I always forget what to say. Like I need this paper. Huh? I ain't gonna tell you what Coach Reg said. He crazy. Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9 with my special guest, Cordell Rowe. We are talking about I'm about to say sexual something. What we talking about? Self-identity. We talking about self-identity. But this portion of the show was brought to you by MrWestAfrica.com. He is located at 415 West Court Street, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45203. And you can call Miss West Africa at 513-684-9111. Okay, so let's jump right back in. So prior to us taking a break,
I gave you a test.
Mike gave us a test, and you were supposed to take a pen and a piece of paper, and you're supposed to write down your favorite color and why it's your favorite color.
All right. So who going first? Counselor, you going first. Your favorite color and why?
All right. I'm going to go with blue, more like a royal blue, to be more specific. First is I think it's peace. I love it. I think it brings me a sense of peace, tranquility when I see the color blue. Second is power. I think royal blue represents power. And third is simply, as the artist in me, is just because I like it. You know.
There you go.
My favorite color is purple, and purple is because it's bold, it's royalty, and it's a choice. It stands out.
Okay. My favorite niece, you getting in on this? Get on the mic.
My favorite color is purple, and I picked purple because loyalty, respect, and sensitive.
Okay. That's fair.
Eddie, what say you?
Eddie ain't got no mic. He can't talk. He can come at that break. So here's the deal. Your favorite color represents how you feel people see you. And y'all can elaborate on that.
Y'all hear that? I like that.
Well, that may make sense because, and I'm only going by people's response to me, what people tell me. So this doesn't go for everybody. So I'll deal with, I like the way it looks, or I like the way it feels, or I like it, period. A lot of people think that I'm a free spirit. And so the artist in me is like,
we ain't even gonna go there.
I know, right? Well, it depends. Like
check out his Facebook page. It's off the chain.
Exactly. That's the freedom of it, or even peace. The peace of that, where I say it's peace and tranquility. When people are around me, people love to be around me, and say that they just it's a sense of peace to be around me. Not for a long time because they'll probably get frustrated, but if they're around me for a period of time, they enjoy coming around me and just chilling. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily for some reason to be around me per se, but they do like to be in my presence. And I love people to be in my presence. Just go away. No, I'm just joking. And then the last is power. I guess that's one of the reasons I became an attorney, is to, at least feel like I got some power. Really, I have none, but it makes you feel like you have some. But I'll go back to my name itself, Cordell. When I speak the name Cordell within myself, I like to speak it as if though it's in authority. And so that's one of the reasons why I love the name, because it represents power, at least for me. So just, it's a theory.
So for me, purple, I put bold, royalty, and it stands out. I could be kind of bold. It really depends on the day that you catch me on.
But remember, this is how you feel people see you.
I got you.
I can see that. Nah, I can see that. I can see that.
Nobody, you think so?
Yes.
You said no. You think so?
Yes.
I mean, I think I can be bold. I think I'm opinionated, but I do have some tact to it. You know what I'm saying? But I can be bold. Just depends on the environment, where I'm at. But for the most part, I'm shy.
Well, I think you may be shy to yourself, which is different from how people see you. Those are two totally different things.
I don't know if people would see me as bold, but I mean, maybe so.
Your ass was bold to come in here like that today.
Hey, y'all see how he just ratted me out? I don't care. It used to be a point where I care. I just don't. I'm just me.
That's the boldness.
I'm just me. You either love it or you don't. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to try to come up here all GQ every day.
Exactly.
I was trying to stay in the bed today. But then royalty. So I always say Christeria Lynn, the one and only, because there's no other Christeria Lynn, y'all. Y'all can look it up, whatever. That I know of am the one and only Christeria Lynn. Now there are 4 more Christerias, but I'm a little salty about that because I'm supposed to be the only one. And then I think I stand out. I do stand out. And I don't say I stand out because like I'm all that in the bag of chips. I just stand out because I just believe that I didn't let my life experiences and my trials and my tribulations break me, but I let them make me into a better me. What say you, niece?
I would say my friends would say I'm sensitive because it could be even a movie and I'll start crying. Loyalty, I'm very loyal to all my friends. I never fell out with none of my friends. So, yeah. And I'm very respectful.
Okay.
So let's talk about how the first time I met Miss Christeria Lynn, how she shook my hand. Talk about bold. Brother, she did like this. I'm telling you, like, I was like, dang, I almost lost my arm. But now, so my color would be burnt orange. And I say because it's like relaxing, it's vibrant, and it's passionate. And I think that I can say people see me that way, just in general. But I really don't care how people see me.
Yeah, and I think I'm there too. I think the more you can self-identify to yourself, the less you become worried about how people perceive you and what people think of you. Because deep down inside, you know who you are and whose you are, whoever that may be. And I think it took me a long time to get there. I was never really a people pleaser, but at the same time, I was one of those people who didn't want to offend people. You know, because I know me. I know I can be very opinionated. But at the same time, and at one point in time, I just lacked tact. I'll just say whatever it is that I wanted to say, when I wanted to say, and how I wanted to say it. But I think the more life experiences that I had, the more pain and disappointment and hurt that I experienced, instead of me becoming bitter, I became more compassionate for people. And so that compassion to require me to be more tactful about the things that I said to people, because I know people are fragile. Like, you know, when you encounter people, you don't know where they're at in life. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they have and what they don't have. And so your words can make a difference on whether what I'm trying to say, your words can actually make a difference of if you're building them up or tearing them down, if their day gets better or if their day gets worse.
But, you know, sometimes we got to see the role that we play in different people's lives based upon the position that we are in a different person's life. For example, you're a mother, and there are some things that to a stranger you may not care about what you say or do. But if your child, pick a child, any child, saw you not caring, or if you act in the same way to a stranger that your child saw you, you may look at your child in the eye and say, man, I don't want them to see me like this. So, and that's a different self-identity, because they're identifying you, that child is identifying you in a different way. And you want to show them or a different...
So give me an example.
Well, let's just say we talk about boldness. A stranger comes to you, they don't like you, whatever the case may be, and you curse them out because you just felt like doing it that day. I don't care what you think. Blue, 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 right? And you really don't care what this stranger thinks of you, because you are standing, your ground as a person, the freedom to speak your mind. But if your child is looking at you in a certain way while you're saying this, you may look at it and be like, I don't know if I wanted my child to see me in this manner. So you're not caring to a stranger may be different for you do care how your child views you. So that self-identity changes to me depending on your audience.
I don't agree with that.
It's okay.
And I'm saying because I don't think I Only thing that I do that I don't want my children around is when I got something to say about their daddy. That's the truth. Like if I have something negative to say, like I don't want my children to be around to hear whatever negative things that I want to say about them, whether it's, I tell them to step out the car or go somewhere else, but that's it. But anything that I have to do or say, for the most part, I do it in front of my children, because I think it's important that I show my children that you can be authentic and you can be you. Okay. And at any point in time, anybody can stand to be corrected. So I don't cuss people out. I wish I could, but I wish I could. I need to, but I don't cuss people out. So, but I do have a way of telling people off, when they get up under my skin. But it takes a while for me to get there. So even if you offend me, I'm not just gonna tell you off. I'm probably just gonna bite my tongue, because I've learned that silence is golden. So I can do more with my silence than I can with my words to me in that situation. Mm-hmm. So, but
when we come back, I got before we go to break, I got another assignment for y'all. Okay. This time,
go ahead.
Your favorite animal.
I don't have no favorite animal.
And why? Think about it. Take us a break.
We're going to go to break, but we're going to answer these questions when we come back from Tracy Leaks and Terwana Sister T, baby.
Favorite animal and why?
Put y'all favorite animal in here. I don't know what I'm about to say, but
not your position, your favorite animal.
He crazy, y'all. You are you are listening to.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh, he know. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria, Lynn, special guest Cordell on Power 108.9. Don't be acting like no saint. I don't have no favorite animal. Oh, yes, I do. I sure do. We gotta go to some of these questions.
You ready?
Yep.
What's the questions?
I lost it all.
Y'all want me to sing on y'all?
My friends. My loved ones. Justice League.
Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9. My special guest, Cordell. We are talking about self-identity and how you see yourself versus how other people see you. Mike gave us some homework, but we do have some questions that I want to read. So Tracy asked the question, how much of your self-identity is related to other opinions of you?
For me?
None.
Probably none, yeah. I don't really care what people think about me. I don't really care what people think about me for the most part. I think I have a purpose in life, and my goal. You
think or you know?
I know, and my goal is to fulfill that purpose. And I know, based upon the life that I live, I will offend a lot of people in that purpose. But I also know that I will reach a lot of people in that purpose. And so for me, I don't think no man plans on success without, creating adversaries, so to speak. And once you realize that if you focus on your purpose, people are going to shape who you are. They're going to have their own story for you. They're going to talk about you. And either you have a choice. You can focus on those who talk about you in a negative, or you can focus on those who talk about you in a positive and end up where you're supposed to be. If you focus on those who talk about you in a negative, you're going to spend a lot of your time protecting this image and going nowhere. Versus if you focus on those who talk about you while you focus on your purpose, you will always be moving forward.
I think whether you have a purpose or whether you don't know what your purpose is, I think people always going to talk about you.
That's what I'm saying. You can't stop it.
Yeah, they always going to talk about you. And so you can't let, and even though at one point in time I did, you can't let the opinions of others shape and mold you, because a lot of us do and a lot of people do. Right. But I don't think at any point do the opinions of others mold you. I do think that oftentimes we get into this branding mode, whether you're in business, and then you have this image that you have to upkeep. And so sometimes people, the perception of that image to me becomes the problem. Right. Like, people are really not who they say they are. Like, how many of y'all know I'm ratchet? You know, right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not ratchet, but you know, people's perception, you know, is directly related to my image and my brand. Right. And so one thing I can say, and I'm gonna bring this up, this sidetrack, but this goes back to, you know, people's opinions of you. So I remember Cardi B, and I like Cardi B. Mm-hmm. I like Cardi B for multiple reasons, not because of the songs that she sings, but because of who she is. Like, she's just her. You know, she can get on Instagram. She can be on Vogue magazine. She can, you know, start talking about politics or whatever. But I remember she got on Twitter and she said something so out the water, as she always does. But her statement was like, how many of y'all can get on Twitter and say what you really want to say? And she was like, 90% of y'all can't, because you'll lose your followers. Right. And so I think that's a lot of us. In a sense, like, people are so worried about who's going to fall off. What are they going to say if I post this? What are they going to do if I post this? How are they going to perceive me? You post something. I remember I posted something. People started jumping in my inbox like, that don't have anything to do with your brand. Like, let me post it. Right. It wasn't, I don't think it was offensive. I mean, you may not have been used to it, but I know who I am and I know where I'm going. And that post was meant to reach who it was going to reach.
Right. It's one of my favorites is when somebody say, I thought better of you, you know, for this or that. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, you know, okay. I didn't even, you know, this is what I do every day, you know, but it's their perception of who they thought that I was, you know, when they tell me, you know, you're better than this. And like, this is what I do every day. So for me, it was a normal activity, but for them, it was something out of the water.
So why does it make it okay for Cardi B to be who she wants to be, and everybody, you know, follows her or doesn't discredit her because of who she is? However, the average person is afraid to be who they really are.
Because Cardi B has always been Cardi B. She never pretended to be somebody that she's not. And most people, like, if I was to get on social media right now and go to an event and it was at the bar and I start posting pictures, 9 times out of 10, people gonna have something to say. Why are you in the bar? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Though. But that's just me. But I don't really go to the bar.
Then that's not you. Then
no, it's not.
Then if you're doing,
but I'm saying if I did,
if you're doing something out of character that you're,
it's not really out of character to me. It's just some place that I just don't frequent. You know what I'm saying? But if I need to go, I mean, there's events and stuff that's held at bars. I mean, there's events that held in all kind of places. But with Cardi B, she was never anyone else. She's just always been
authentic. That's how it should be.
Exactly. And most people are not. Like, I don't think most people can really go back to how we started, self-identify with themselves so they can be authentic. So I want to bring up Sister T for a second, because y'all know Sister T, and I hope you still listening, Sister T, but she is one of the most authentic people Like, she love her some Jesus, but she also gonna get you straight. And she never compromises her character, and she never compromises what she believes in. But at the same time, she can still stay true to herself and true to the God that she serves. And I don't think everybody can do that.
I also think a lot of it has to do with personal branding. I know we talk about, how one views themselves, but a lot of times we spend years branding ourselves a certain way for others. And so when, whether you have somebody, like you say, you're ratchet, when you have somebody that's ratchet and always being ratchet and they come up on the scene of popularity, or I wouldn't say ratchet, I just say with that freedom to do whatever they want to do. And they come up on that scene, even if it's negative content, people will be like, oh, that's just them. But you have this other individual who's always tried to maintain a pristine image, or at least try to sell that.
But deep down inside, they're really that ratchet person.
Right.
But now what you're trying to do is now you're trying to portray something else for a brand.
Right.
So are you really self-identifying?
I think what you've done
No.
is
Right, you're not.
No.
The answer is no, but
No.
That's where they care about other people's perception. And it happens in politics all the time.
That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up because I had a very good friend of mine, been knowing him since high school. He was a big city council member here in the city of Atlanta. One of the things that he did, Cordell, and you can probably attest to this, is that whenever we were out, the rule was if we were out in a public setting and he was there, our role as his partners were when he went up to talk to his constituents, shake the hand, and they started to have the conversation, they don't know that we're with him. So when he walks away, we hang out right there to hear what they say after he walks away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That was from a political perspective. That was the game because now he's getting the insight on what people really think about him when he walks away.
I mean, and that's one of the reasons, for better or for worse, why Trump is president, is because he didn't care.
He didn't. He don't.
About his public
And he's
perception.
being his authentic self, and he don't care.
Right. He doesn't care. But
He don't care.
you have the other politician who is, every move is pre-programmed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that person who's not being authentic, if it can come back to bite them, because at some point they may just, burst out. You know what I'm saying?
Like Kasim Reed said, remember Snowmageddon?
You're right.
Snowmageddon, and they was giving him hell.
Right.
285, it's your fault, man. First of all, Kasim said, that's not even Atlanta. That's Sandy Springs. That
Right.
has nothing to do with this. And did you die? That's the question.
Are
Did
still
you die?
alive? Didn't nobody die in no Snowmageddon. Y'all was just hungry.
But I think that's what it is. Like, a lot of people spend their time building a certain brand, and it's not their characteristic. I mean, it's not their character. And so when you sell something and it goes against that thing which you sell, you don't have anybody to blame but yourself. If you get the fallback, goes back to your original question. Whereas the Cardi B's of the world, the Donald Trumps of the world, they are who they are, whether you like them or not. It doesn't mean you have to actually like what they're doing. But you know what you're getting when you bring them around. You know what you're getting when you take the time and invest any thought process in their lives. So when we wake up and Donald Trump do something crazy, we're going to say, man, that's just Trump.
Right.
Or that's just Cardi B.
And that's the scary part about being around people who aren't their authentic selves because we never, who are you really?
Right.
That's what we want to know. Who are you really?
And I would also say, too, we have to look at the position people think, the position certain people have in society. Like, sometimes your position dictates how you should or may act. Because let's say me as a lawyer, there's some things that I may do. I can tell you behind the scenes, there's some crazy stuff that goes on with lawyers within themselves. But to society, we are a professional business. And it's important that we remain that professional business. I cannot show up in court with, a wife beater and some short pants, or my beach shirt and say, Your Honor, X, Y, and Z.
That would be cool.
You know.
Though.
It
Right.
would be cool.
It would be cool. Though.
It would be cool. But even,
What up, Your Honor?
Break the
Let
standard.
me break it down to you like this. My man's innocent.
right, but society and the professionalism of the industry requires that we put on a suit and tie when we walk in there and keep a certain decorum. So I think that, if you're a preacher, it's required you can't do this in a certain way. So I think self-identity, even in those issues, come with what job that you're about to take. Some people don't take certain jobs. They'd be like, I can never run for politician because I don't want to have that decorum. I don't want to be pigeonholed in that certain decorum. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, it makes it like there's a lot of things. I ain't gonna even tell y'all my bucket list that I want to do, but y'all wouldn't believe me if I told you. But there are certain things that I just couldn't go into because I don't think I could live up to the expectations.
Right.
I mean, it would just require me to not be my authentic self, and I just like being me. So
What else you gonna be?
when I go home,
Stop playing.
I'm gonna be
Stop
Diamond. I'm just playing. Hey, so Mike gave us this exercise. So he told us to think of his I want to read this comment because I forgot Sister T's, but he told us to think of our favorite animal, and I picked the eagle. But Sister T, Tarawana said, I would never lower my standards to raise someone else's. Being authentic and transparent is important to me. I can feel your energy before you open your mouth. Ditto. Tracy said, but do you entertain where the thought came from, or do you just understand it?
Whose thought?
Whose thought, Tracy?
Your
the thoughts of other people, or the thoughts of whose thought? And then Tarawana said, children model themselves strongly after what they see. Of course, children do what you do. No, is that right? Yeah, children do what you do, not what you say. See morals and values and characters is imperative. Even how you view your spirituality will affect them as they are growing up.
My thing is this too. That last comment makes, is very important. The Bible teaches, except a man, except a corn of wheat die, it abideth alone. But if it dies, it brings forth much fruit. And so we're all in transition and changing in life, where we go from one phase to another. Nature teaches us, the caterpillar eventually becomes the butterfly. And so we're ever evolving and changing oneself. So even the morality that you would have as a teenager may change as an adult because your perspective of the world changes.
We're going to talk about that when we come back. So when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation on self-identity. This portion of the show was brought to you by MrWestAfrica.com. He is located at 415 West Court Street, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45203. You can call Mr. West Africa at 513-684-9111. We will continue this conversation on Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9 when we come back. That's how he advertised. He actually has to clean the business, but he's branding himself out. That's his name, though. No, that's his name. Oh, he did. Oh, but that's what he wanted me to say. Not why. No. He was very specific. Eagle, because they fly high, they fly long.
Lion. Power, authority.
Eagle, they fly high and they fly long. And the females are larger than the males. Because you black. Welcome back. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn on Power 108.9 with my special guest Cordell. We are talking about self-identity. And so prior to us going to break, Mike asked us what was our favorite animal. Don't know why this was another test. I know Tracy said lion. I said eagle. Cordell said lion. My niece said butterfly. And Eddie said Black Panther.
So, when you talk about your favorite, first we diagnose your favorite color, which means how you feel other people see you. So we talk about your favorite animal. Your favorite animal tells you how you see yourself.
And mine was the eagle. And I picked the eagle because they fly high and they fly long. It may sound cliche, but I just like it. I'm pretty much... I'm not a loner per se, but I like to roll solo.
Makes sense to me.
Huh? No, it's not.
You know, for me, I picked a lion because it represents power, authority, and it represents a hunter. And sometimes, you know, when we get up as an entrepreneur, we actually hunt for the things that we're doing, you know, and for our success, for what we believe that God has called our goals to be. You know, you're always hunting for the next meal, pray, whatever it is.
Do you have a strong belief in family? You got a strong belief in family?
Very strong belief in
Because, I
family.
mean, a line has probably... Is my mic still off? You still muted?
No.
Nah, you
Is that
on.
why you're looking at me like that?
Look, he
we
be
can
making
hear you.
that serious look too.
All right.
Go ahead. No, I mean, I think that was a good question.
No, go ahead.
Just trying to elaborate on what he said. Like, so you say you're a lion, so lions have prides.
Right.
So it means you probably have a strong belief in family, or you have your own pride, or you believe in developing.
No, I
pride.
definitely believe in it. You know, I think, you know, you protect family first and more than anything, you know, on that. And then after you protect family, you know, it comes everybody else. So at the end of the day, for some people, family is all you really have. And you have to protect that circle. So for me, definitely.
Okay, I picked butterfly because it gives me different and more freedom because they get to fly wherever they want to go.
Oh, you ran Eddie off?
No, that's fine.
So, Sister T said the eagle. Tracy said the lion.
Why did she say the lion?
She said I don't know why she said the lion. I was trying to find the comments. She said it is because the lion commands attention just walking in the room, not saying anything. The lion, by his roar, stops everything.
Makes sense to me.
So, I want to ask the question. Do you all think that social media has a huge part to play into self-identity when it comes to people?
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely. But I think for a couple of simple reasons. Social media is where the average person who's never gotten attention all of a sudden has access to thousands of people for attention, or just 10 people for attention, you know? And so you don't really realize that until you see the actions of what people do. For example, let's just say the new challenge is the Popeyes chicken. People are
I'm so tired of Popeyes and Chick-fil-A.
people are literally standing in line for hours for a chicken sandwich,
I did.
not because they want a chicken sandwich, but because they want to say that they had one, and so that all of social media can say that they had a chicken sandwich. Wow. You see? And so they get all their friends, they get all their comments. So all they do, because the first thing they do when they get the chicken sandwich is to take all of the pictures to say, I got the chicken sandwich.
I did it.
See, exactly my point. And then another thing is, look at all the money people are spending just to get the likes and the things like that, and the attention that they've never gotten before. So they go all out. I mean, they're spending hundreds of dollars, if not thousands of dollars. Sometimes when you look at some of the videos and things that people are doing, it is going beyond just taking the picture with your phone and then posting it, and it's a really nice picture in the course of a average day.
And I want to interject. I hope y'all show up to the polls when it's voting time the way y'all posting these Chick-fil-A and these Popeye sandwiches. For real. Because I think Popeyes made, like $11 million in a week or something?
I think
it was something ridiculous.
It was more than that.
So I really hope that y'all show up to the polls the way that y'all showing up for this Chick-fil-A and Popeye sandwiches. And then I want to add about social media is that I think, because I could talk to quite a few people, and I always see people who compare themselves to other people. Right. You know what I'm saying? So at one point in time, I'd be like, oh, such and such is doing this, such and such is doing that. But I think what we fail to realize that even though such and such, Billy Job or Jane Doe is doing this, they may not even be in our lane. And so we're start comparing ourselves to people, which sometimes as to us, not me per se, but people, which often can make us question our identity or our purpose or where we're going because we're comparing ourselves to someone that we really should not be comparing ourselves to. And I also want to say that social media has led people to be caught up in so much stuff that's just not real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It's an illusion.
It is the biggest illusion. Like, I'm not gonna get on Facebook and be like, "Hey, y'all, today was a very bad day. I went through this. I went through that. This is what I have. This is what I don't have. This is what I need." I'm not gonna get on Facebook like that. Right. And most people don't. Most people are gonna post positive things. I'm not saying everybody, and I'm not saying people don't vent, but the average person, as we're talking about, like with a brand or with an image, you're just not going to get on social media and put all your business out there.
Right. And it can be positive and negative. You got to the point that you may have some people doing something positive with their lives. I remember one of the things for me when I was going through school to just going back to undergrad as an adult and then going through law school and then becoming an attorney, I wanted people to see my journey so that people that knew me in real life can say, oh, there's somebody that I know who actually did it, who actually became an attorney, and this is the only attorney that I know, but I know him. And whether that was family, whether that was friends, and they saw the struggles, the good and the bad. But then you got the other side of that, whereas people want to, you to cry out anytime that they're looking for attention, so they hurt themselves, even to the point of some suicides that have been online, because that identity of either the attention that they wanted, this was the final attention. You see some of these mass shooters, terrorists, basically. These terrorists, they give these manifestos and put it online because it's their way to get attention. So, it could be for the good and for the bad. But if we do it for the good, I'm okay, because you have, people see other people graduating, you see people moving in the positive direction, and sometimes even for business, you can connect and say, listen, I like your brand that you're putting out, and I want to be a part of that brand. I respect what you're doing. And the other part of that, I don't want to be a part of your brand, because what you're putting out, I don't want to be tied to it. So I think, for the good or bad, social media can have its impact.
Yeah, and I do too. I think that for me, it's important to be transparent. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't have to let you in on every aspect of my life, but I also want you to know that that the life of an entrepreneur is not glitz and glamour.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It comes with ups and downs. It comes with some months people don't pay you and some months people do. Some months you have a lot of clients, some months you don't. Some months you question whether you're supposed to be doing it, and other months for a fact. So I just like to be transparent about the journey.
Right.
In a sense, like you were saying, just be transparent. Not that you have to be totally positive, but I also think that transparency does not have to be displayed in a negative way. So I'm very careful about how I word what I say, not because I care about what other people think about me, because one of my purposes in life is to make sure that, I'm helping build other people up.
All right. So because we're talking about self-identity, when you say you're careful about what you do and what you expose on social media and how you're exposing it based upon what you just said, who are you caring for to see you in a positive light or not a negative light, so to speak. Like when you make that decision that I'm going to post about this, about the journey, in your mind, who is that the journey for?
Are you talking about like my audience, like
Yeah.
with my target audience?
When you're thinking about people seeing me through the struggle of an entrepreneur, and I'm going to at least let somebody in, right? There is an audience on the other side.
Exactly.
So who is that in your mind?
My audience, just far as social media, is anybody who views my page. I would just say a public as a whole, but it's not necessarily my target client. So I want to make that clear.
Right.
But my audience is that, like, I really just genuinely care about the people. You know, because I see people that can say the same thing that I say, but they say it in a different way. And one way is offensive and the other way is edifying. Right. You know, so to me, it just makes a difference. And I think it makes a difference. I'm not just saying I'm the only person it makes a difference for, but I think sometimes when you deal with so many life experiences and so many different circumstances and you go through so much pain and hurt, it can make you really compassionate for other people. So I want to be the person that builds that other person up, you know, because it could be one word. It could be something that I said. I can't tell you the amount of people that jump in my inbox because something that I ain't talking about men. We ain't gonna go there, but the amount of people, you know, females, I'm just talking about as far as it relates to business that jump in my inbox because of the content that you post.
Right.
You know, so it really does matter.
Right.
At least in my eyes, it matters.
No, I was just wondering because sometimes, you know, sometimes we think about things and we say, and I'll use myself as an example. In theory, yeah, I don't really care what people think.
Oh, we know.
But
y'all got to go to his page. If y'all ain't went to his Facebook page, man, he posts the craziest stuff. But go ahead.
Yeah, but I don't really care what people think. But I also want to make sure that if you're on my Facebook page, if you can find room on there, or if not, follow me. Just follow me. A lot of my stuff is public. At least you're entertained. So, because I believe that there is something that I can give to the world that you can at least, you know, your day is lightened up. But I don't care what you think about it, but there's still a purpose of it.
What did you pay that child support bill?
About that.
I want to know if he paid that $52,000 child support bill, y'all.
I know, right?
Yeah, but am I here next week? No. I don't know if that's up in the air, y'all. I don't really know. But anyway, today we talked about self-identity, and it was a great conversation. You are listening to Let's Talk with Christeria Lynn, my special guest Cordell on Power 108.9. I might be back next week. I might not be back next week. I don't know. Gotta figure it out. It's a holiday.
It's a holiday. That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, he forgot about that. You see? He's such a team player, he is.
Entrepreneurs, all we get is holidays just mean the phone ain't ringing as much.
So I learned to take my days.
We still got to work.
What? All right, y'all. We out. Shouty. Y'all see how Mike talked about my hair? You know, I'm purpose. Did you hear what he said? He said I had some nerve coming out the house like this.
I like your hair.
What's wrong with my hair? Why does my hair gotta be bold?
I like your hair.
Huh? All right, we out, y'all.